Hello, Amber here, and I am a certified yoga instructor at the University of Cincinnati. And today I'm going to be guiding you through a relaxation yoga class. We're going to kind of keep it shorter and simpler today, so we won't really be using a ton of props. And while these classes generally tend to be on the longer side, I'm going to try to keep this a little bit shorter for those of you who maybe have a little less time to work with, so you can just kind of get a nice relaxation yoga break somewhere in your day. So kind of hop into something comfy to wear and head over to your yoga mat. If you have socks or shoes on, go ahead and remove those. I have my trusty yoga blanket here with me, but you don't need that unless you want it. You really don't need any specific props, although I might give a few recommendations for things that you could use to just enhance your experience today if you want. So that being said, grab a glass of water if you want to, or anything, that blankets or pillows that you might want to have with you, or just yourself and your mat. And take a moment to find a comfortable seat, whatever that is today for you. So just sit, I like to sit on my blanket because it helps elevate my hips and helps release any little pinching that I might get otherwise in my lower back. But you can do that or just sit on your mat and just find a comfortable seat with an upright spine, sitting in a good posture. Shoulders relax down away from your ears, and just you maybe let your eyes close if you want for a moment. Let your facial muscles soften. Kind of let everything relax while still sitting up in that nice, mindful, upright posture with an upright spine. And as we sit here in this comfortable seat, we'll just take a few moments to connect to our breath and start a little yoga break. So maybe you have some tension, or you've got stuff going on in your day. So let's start with just a couple rounds of lion's breath, just to release any stress. So let's just take a deep breath in through your nose and notice any stress, any tension, any anxiety, anything you're carrying with you right now. And exhale, big sigh out through your mouth, almost like you're dumping that out, releasing that weight off of your shoulders with that breath out. Let's do it one more time. Big breath in through your mouth, or through your nose. And exhale, sigh it out. Let it go. And then from here, we'll move into our steady rhythmic breath, or your 4-count breath. And just gently breathe in and out through your nose. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4. Breathe in. And breathe out. Just try to stay with a steady, even breath throughout your practice today. Maybe inhale, let. Exhale, go, if that feels good to you. And maybe consider setting an intention of something you'd like to let go of, or maybe just to give yourself permission for some guilt-free, little periods of relaxation throughout your day. So acknowledging that we can be busy, we can have different things on our plate, but that we can still, within that, navigate some time out of our day to step away from those things and do some kind of self-care practice or something to kind of nourish, refresh, rejuvenate ourselves, if you will. And that is not a selfish or unproductive act. So maybe this time right here on the mat is that for you today, or maybe there's something else you'd like to incorporate as well. So maybe your intention is to just slow down and give yourself permission to relax, or to let go of any strains or burdens from your day that you might be carrying at this time, or maybe it's something else that feels good to you. So as we sit here with this breath and this intention, if your eyes are closed, go ahead and open them. Inhale, reach your arms overhead. So we start with some kind of warm-up little stretches here. Exhale, send your left hand down to the floor. Right arm reaches up and over, side body stretched. Remember to keep that right hip rooted down towards the earth next to the left. Breathe in. Breathe out, really opening up along the side of your body. Inhale, come up the center. Exhale, take it to the other side. Take another breath here. Let it feel good. Inhale, come back up again. And exhale, just release your hands down to the side. Let's roll your shoulders up by your ears, roll them back. Just a few more times here, just kind of gently relaxing through your shoulders. And then just allow your shoulder blades to relax down your back. Inhale, tilt your chin towards the sky. Take a moment here, stretching along the front of your neck. And then come back to neutral. Exhale your chin to your chest, chest to your chin. This time, feeling that stretch along the back of your neck. Breathe in. Still keep that good posture, upright spine. As you breathe out, just begin to slide your chin over toward your left shoulder. And you can kind of pause right here if you want, or if it feels good to you, you might start to even tilt your head back a little more. So just kind of feel it out, being very gentle. Little half rolls here. Come back through center. And the same thing, eventually same thing on the other side. We'll do this one more time on each side. Again, there's no rush here. Take as much time as you need. Just let yourself tune in to whatever you're feeling in your own body, in your own mind. And then eventually make your way back down through the center. And when you get there, you can just lift your chin back up to neutral. Then from here, we will scoot our feet behind you. Make your way onto your hands and knees for tabletop. If you want, you can always put a blanket or something underneath your knees for a little extra padding, if that's your preference. Then from here, fingers spread wide, shoulders over your wrists, hips over your knees with a flat back. We're going to move into some cat and cow. Inhale, look forward. Abs relax down, tailbone lengthens up into your cow. And exhale, navel into your spine, tailbone tilts towards the earth for cat. Inhale, sway forward into your cow. Exhale into your cat. And try not to rush this. Try to focus on this movement rather than thinking about what's next. And just go with your own breath and your own pace, gently flowing from form to form here. Feeling perhaps a release in your spine. Do one more round. And then whenever you're ready, just make your way back to your tabletop. And then from here, take your fingers, or take your palms out beneath your shoulders, or maybe even a little wider than your shoulders. Fingers spread wide. You go curl your toes under and lift it up to downward facing dog. You might have a little bend in your knees, totally fine here. Maybe your legs are straight, doesn't really matter. Feel free to kind of walk it out a little bit here. Make any little shifts or movements that feel good to you. Take another breath or two here. And then optional to stay here, or if you can, I'm going to encourage that you flow with me. We're just going to do a gentle flow here. Inhale, shift forward to plank. You can always do a knee plank as a modification and lower to your knee. Exhale, lower your knees, hips stay lifted as you start to lower your chin and chest for 8-point pose. Inhale, lower your hips, shoulders roll back, lift up your chest a little bit at a time, coming into a little baby cobra. Squeeze your shoulder blades together, and exhale, release it back down, press back up through tabletop. And then your knees can either be close together or apart, yogi's choice. And we'll start to sink your seat to your heels for child's pose. You can stretch your arms out in front. I find this gives a really nice stretch through your shoulders and your upper back doing it this way. But if you prefer, you can also form a little pillow with your hands here. Or take your arms to the side. Back to your breath if needed. Come back to that intention, letting go, releasing, relaxing into your child's pose. And just notice any sensations that you might feel in your body here, maybe anywhere that you feel a stretch or a release. And just do what you can. If you can't come all the way down to the floor, that's fine too. You could just come like to here, or maybe place like a block or something underneath you and just come down to the block that way. So, or rest your head on a block and relax your arms. If you don't have a block, just use what you have, a book, a pillow, whatever, to bring the floor up to you. Remember, this time is for you. This It's meant to feel good. It's meant to be something that you feel good about. So no berating ourselves, okay? Take one more breath here, wherever you're at in your child's pose. Balasana. And then press down through the palms of your hands. Inhale, shift forward back to your tabletop, back to your hands and knees. And then from here, we're just going to lower all the way down to your stomach for a moment here. Press your legs behind you. And then bring your arms in so that your elbows are right underneath your shoulders. Fingertips just out in front. Draw your shoulders down and back and relax. Draw your navel up and in just a tiny bit. We're still relaxed here, but just so we're not pinching your lower back. Crown of your head just lengthens very slightly forward. And you can just gaze out on the floor in front of you so we're not craning our heads up or down. This is Sphinx pose. This might seem really simple, but this is a really nice, chill yoga back bend. It can also be really nice if you're having any back pain or tension. So just relax into this. And then pause. Just take a moment to just be. Just be. Remember, we're human beings, not human doings. Sometimes it can be just as productive and helpful just to take some time to slow down and find presence. We're going to take 3 more breaths here. Inhale. Exhale. Let it go. And then your next exhale, you can just gently start to bring your chest slightly forward and then lower down. Press back through tabletop. Pass through the brave child's pose. Just take a breath in and out. And then inhale, come back forward to your tabletop. And from here, we'll just slide your feet over to one side and make your way back to find a comfortable seat. So, you find a comfortable seat, optional to grab a blanket to sit on. Again, it's up to you. Now we're just going to come to a seat with your knees bent in front of you and your feet on the floor. From here, let your knees fall out to the side, bringing the soles of your feet together. Inhale, sit up tall, really lengthen up through the crown of your head, lengthen your spine first. And then optional, you could stay right here. Or exhale a little bit at a time, start to come forward into our Baddha Konasana, butterfly pose. Maybe feel opening your hips, stretching your inner thighs, your legs here. If it's bothering your knees at all, you can always try placing something underneath your knees to close out any space between your knees and the floor, but that is optional. Just breathe. Relax until your shoulders relax down, get away from your ears. We'll just stay here for about a minute. A little bit more passive yin practice. Take time to pause in the pose. Maybe notice how the feel of the pose changes as you stay. And of course, you are welcome to come out of a pose if your body asks you to at any time. Continue to breathe in, breathe out. Maybe even just try to notice anywhere that you're subconsciously holding tension in your body and try to consciously relax it, even just a little bit. Take a couple more breaths here. Inhale, start to make your way back up to a seat or back up to your upright spine a little bit at a time. And then when you're ready, or when you get there, just bring your knees together. Gently extend your legs. Just kind of shake out your legs a little bit. Just notice how it feels. And then we're going to take your legs out wide. So finding like an L or kind of a big V shape here with your legs. Inhale, sit up tall, lengthen your spine. And then I don't want you to force this, but a little bit of time leading with your chest, leading with your heart, start to come forward. It might just be a tiny bit. You might come more. For me, it's not that much, and I'm okay with that. So you could also, again, use something like some pillows or something to come down onto if you have that available and you want to, but otherwise, staying here is just fine. And try to keep your shoulders relaxed. Make sure that nothing hurts in your back, and just feel a nice stretch in your legs here. We won't hold this one as long as the last one. We'll just take about 3 more breaths here. You might find as you hold this, maybe you've got a little more space to go a little deeper. But again, we're not pushing or forcing anything. Letting go of control and just going with the flow, seeing what comes up as we go. One more breath in. One more breath out. And inhale, start to walk your hands back in towards your body. Make your way back up again to a neutral spine. And bring your legs together, bend your knees. If you're sitting on something, you can go ahead and scoot off of that. And we're going to make your way down onto your back. So your knees bent in front of you and your feet on the floor. And just start to, a little bit of time, start to lower all the way down onto your back. And take your arms out to a T or cactus shape, working with however much space that you have here. And then from here, take a moment, just let your back relax into the floor. And then we'll start to slide your hips just a tiny bit over to the left as you slide your knees out over to the right, coming into our reclined twist. And then you could stay here. I like to sometimes place a hand or place a right hand on top of that top knee for a little extra support. And then maybe, if it feels okay in your neck, maybe you look out over your left shoulder. But only if that feels okay to you. If that creates any kind of strain or tension in your neck, then don't do it. You can just look up at the ceiling and that's totally fine. These are all just different variations of our reclined twist. None of them are better or worse than the other. So just play around with it, find what works for you, and then release into it. And we're going to stay here for about a minute or so and just pause in our reclined twist. Relax into it. Let yourself just kind of sink down towards the floor. Let everything go. Breathe in. Breathe out. Just allow yourself this quiet space to just be. Take a couple more gentle breaths here. as you're ready, gently bring your knees back to center. Just take your time to get there. And then we'll transition to this twist on the other side. So arms out again. Slide your hips this time just slightly over to the right. As you slide your knees over to the left, and your knees will be mostly stacked, but they might not perfectly stack, and that's okay. And then feel free to put a hand on top. Maybe look out over that right shoulder if that works for you, and just make any adjustments here as needed. And we'll stay here for around a minute or so, give or take. And just let yourself settle into a place of stillness. Not that you can't move, because you can definitely feel free to make any movements or adjustments as needed. Or just kind of slowing things down, being steady. Again, take some quiet space here. Couple more breaths here. Just take your time. There's no rush. And as you're ready, start to make your way back. And bring your knees back to center. And when you get there, we'll just rest your arms to the side, palms facing down. Press your feet into the floor. Inhale, lift your hips up a little bit of one vertebrae at a time. So your lower, mid, and upper back. We're just going to take one bridge today. Maybe squeeze your shoulder blades together as you lift your hips up, feeling that back bend. For our bridge pose, let's take one more breath in. And then exhale, release, lower everything back down, upper, mid, and lower back. And when you get there, we'll give your knees a hug in towards your chest. If you want, you can rock a little from side to side. I find that can feel really nice on the back after coming out of some of the poses we just did. And then just let it relax, let it feel good. Perhaps come back to that intention once more that you had set for this practice today, for this little timeout. And then from here, optional to stay here and continue this, called folded pose. Or you could take a happy baby, which is taking your knees out wide. Just give you a little hip opener, a little extra hip opener. And with your hands, reach for your ankles, outside of your feet, your pants leg, whatever you can reach for here. And you can stay here and you can take your toes up towards the ceiling and maybe stay still, maybe rock a little bit. Again, whatever feels good in this moment. Take another breath here wherever you're at. And we'll bring your knees back together. Extend your legs up for a moment and just point and flex your feet. Take another breath in, out, and then bring your knees back into your chest. And as you're ready, start to lower your feet down to the floor. Stretch your legs out in front of you. Stretch your arms back towards the wall behind you and just stretch your body long, coming into a full body stretch. Let's take one more big breath in through your nose like we did at the beginning. Exhale, big sigh out through your mouth as you release release your arms down to the side, letting go of anything that's still lingering that we haven't let go of yet in this practice. And then start to make any final movements or adjustments that you'd like to make to set yourself up for Shavasana, corpse pose, kind of our final pose of the practice, which symbolizes the end or the death of our practice, where we really just release all physical efforts from your body. You can put your socks back on or something warmer if you'd like. Maybe put something like a pillow or something underneath your head. You can always bend your knees a little bit and rest your feet to the side, resting your knees on each other if it doesn't feel good on your back to have your legs extended, or you can put a pillow or something underneath your knees. Whatever helps you feel as comfortable as possible. Just trust yourself with this, that you do not have to be any sort of expert at yoga to know what that is, to know how to make yourself feel comfortable and supported and relaxed. And just take your time to get here. And once you do, just find a place of stillness here. Let your back and your shoulders rest against the earth as your eyes gently close. You return back to your natural breath. Now, in the interest of keeping this class, fairly short and accessible for those of you who might not have a ton of time to take a yoga break, we're just going to stay here for a couple of minutes today, although you're definitely more than welcome. I invite you to stay here as long as you would like. But while you're here, really try to be here. Try not to be where you were earlier or where you'll be next. Just try to be right here. Just let everything relax. Try to release all physical efforts from your body. And then just notice. And take a moment here. Notice what taste you have in your mouth. You might be thinking, well, I didn't just eat, all I did was drink water, but maybe the water is the taste in your mouth. Take a moment to observe that. Notice it. Notice any smells around you, anything you can smell. Without judgment, good or bad, just notice. Notice anything you can feel. Can you feel your yoga mat beneath you? The earth or the floor supporting your body at this time. Maybe you feel a blanket or just the feeling of your clothes against your skin. Just notice anything you can feel. And then notice anything you can hear. Any sounds nearby or sounds in the distance. Notice the sound of my voice, perhaps, or anything else going on in the background. And just observe, notice any sounds you can hear. And then your eyes are likely closed, but take a moment and just notice anything you can see in your mind's eye. Any visions that might be coming up to you at this time, again, without judging or overthinking it. Just notice any images that might be arising for you. And we'll take a couple more easy breaths here. Tuning into the senses can help us to ground ourselves in the present moment. You can always come back to that at any time as well if you found it helpful. And now if you'd like to stay here longer, again, I reiterate and I repeat, definitely feel free to stay here another 5, 10 minutes, another hour if you have time and you want to. But if you've got to go, then with me you can start to Move your hands, move your arms and legs in any ways that feel good. Waking up your body, coming back out from this shavasana, from this break in your day, in your practice. And when you're ready, start to bring your knees in towards your chest. And gently roll over to your right side and just pause for a moment here. Go ahead and stay for a moment in that fetal pose. Peace and quiet shouldn't be considered a luxury. You deserve moments of complete silence every day. It's a noisy, noisy world, but you can better navigate and appreciate it by fueling up on silence and solitude. Courtney Carver. And mindfully begin to make your way back up to your seat. And as you do so, just take a brief moment here of gratitude towards yourself for taking this time out of your day, slowing down, coming to your mat for a little relaxation, gentle stretching, and breath. Thank you so much for joining me. I do hope that you found this helpful. Namaste. And thanks so much for being here. Always feel free to check out any of my other yoga classes on here, all different kinds, some relaxation like this, along with even some yoga flow, some foundational yoga, and then also a bunch of other classes from the other group fitness instructors here at UC. So as always, take really good care, and I will see you next time. Bye.